Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, folks, Big Paul here today with another contest prep update. I'm 12 weeks out from Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh, PA. I'm going to share with you my current cycle, my fat burners, my training, my diet. I'm going to dig into everything and be open and honest with you about everything that I'm doing in just 1 second. All right, before we dig into the vitals and health, it's been a fun week. I have the VIPs of fitness trolls coming after me. When you get the VIP crew of fitness trolls coming after you, you guys know who I'm talking about. You know you're doing things right. All sorts of people saying that they used to coach me, that I learned everything I did from them, that they're making up stuff about my cycle that's just not true, saying I'm lying. People say my physique is awful. I love it. I relish in it. I know I get positive messages from people saying that I should just ignore it. And I do generally. From the majority of people, you have no clue how many people I block on a daily basis that are just hitting me up with troll messages, and I just block them and move on with my life. But I do have to relish and laugh at the VIPs of the trolls, the guys that go after the big names. And if I got the guys that go after the pro bodybuilders coming after me, now I must be in good company. I'm doing something right. So if you aren't doing anything worth hating, they won't hate on you. But they come out of the woodwork on contest prep. They generally leave me alone in the off season unless I post something they disagree with about cycles or diets. But now they're in full bloom. It is spring. It is time for all of the fitness trolls to come out of the woodwork and attack me, and it's been hilarious. I actually don't get that upset from it. I find it funny. I can't imagine what type of mentality you have to have when you spend your entire day focused on somebody else and what they're doing. I just don't have time for that. I'm busy improving myself. I'm busy working. I'm busy taking care of my family. I have other priorities in my life besides trolling people. I just don't understand that mentality. And I don't understand where these people have time for this. It must be a pretty sad, pathetic life they live if they're taking that much time to worry about what I'm doing. I'm a nobody, really. I'm just out here having fun. I enjoy bodybuilding. I like sharing what I do with people. I don't know why they're spending time focused on me. It's kind of laughable and hilarious. And it motivates me to work even harder and to prove people wrong. So anyway, with that out of the way, vitals and health this week. My fasted weight came down 4 pounds, and there's a reason behind that. I had a really bad IBS flare-up. I'm kind of skipping ahead here. I have struggled with IBS for the last decade or so. I had really bad Lyme's disease. It was chronic Lyme's disease, and I was treated for it for almost 2 years running with antibiotics and completely wrecked my stomach. It's been about a decade since that happened. And for the most part, I've gotten it under control, but I have to be very bland with my food. There's certain foods I certainly can't eat, or I just have these flare-ups where I basically can't eat for a day or a day and a half. And they seem to happen about every month and a half, 6 weeks to 8 weeks. I'm starting to wonder if I have SIBO, however you say it, an H. pylori overgrowth. I've got a test kit. I'm going to see what's going on there. I've been tested for it before. I've never had it. I see a gastroenterologist regularly. They've looked at my intestines. They said that I get these small ulcers all through my intestines sometimes, and my intestines get flared up. And then I just have these issues. I know when it's coming. I can tell you when it's coming. When I have these flare-ups, I start getting these nasty burps a couple days before, and I start getting really bloated up. And it's almost like the only thing that fixes it is just fasting. I just can't eat for 24 hours or so, and then it resets itself. Or otherwise I get explosive diarrhea and I might be throwing up, which is what happened this time. So all my blood work is pretty much in normal range, so it's not something going on there. I just have had this off and on for 10 years, and it sucks for bodybuilding because it makes it hard to eat. Anyway, so my weight is down this week because of that, because I was sick. I'm probably just dehydrated. I did have a high day scheduled tomorrow. I may push it to Saturday. I don't know if my stomach is ready for a full-blown high day tomorrow. We shall see. For those of you that care, I get people that ask me about my height all the time. I'm 6'1 3/4". I'm just a hair under 6'2". So for classic physique, if I wanted to do classic, that puts me just on the lower edge of I think the cutoff is 232 for that in the amateurs. But I'm not going to be doing classic shit. I'm walking around on the normal days. Like I was 265, 266 on Tuesday before I got all depleted. I don't see me losing. I mean, even if I was up to the 238 or 242, I don't remember what the next class up is. I don't think I would. It would be cutting it close to squeeze in. I'd be at the top end of it. My blood pressure has been great, 119/79. Honestly, I get on contest prep and I get to a point where I just don't even need the telmisartan anymore. Sometimes I drop it. Fasted glucose is 95. My sleep has kind of been, my sleep always sucks. 6 to 7 hours. I'm going to make some adjustments on the PED stack. I'll talk about that later. I think that's affecting sleep. I am going to prioritize sleep this year. I've been bad about that in the past on contest prep, not making sleep a priority in favor of fat burners and doing cardio and things like that. And I think it ultimately ends up with a worse look on stage. Last year, there were some days that I would just skip cardio. There were some days I would just skip the fat burners just so I could get sleep. And I think I ended up with a better look on stage as a result. All right, folks, I want to take a quick break from this episode to tell you about the new e-course that Kurt Havens and I have put together, The Scientific Principles of Anabolics and PEDs. This is the most comprehensive PED e-course ever put together with over 80 modules, including intros to PEDs, major steroid profiles, competitor off-season cycles, non-competitor cycles, contest prep cycles, HGH fundamentals, insulin fundamentals, side effect management, safer use concepts, fat loss agents, estrogen management, and advanced PED and hypertrophy science. It is the best course out there of its kind. Go check it out. Link is in the video description below. All right, so next up, my progress pics here. I have progress pics from this week. You can see here I'm pretty flat. This was from today after being sick. I'm pretty depleted. I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely leaner than I was last week a little bit. The side pics here. You can see there's a little bit of bloating and distension in my abdomen from being sick. The back pics just never come out good in the shitty light. How you know you're in shape, and I've told people this a million times, I get clients that are worried about, they always say, I look way better at the gym, or my check-in pics look awful. I understand that. I can tell the difference. If you look good in your check-in pics, you're going to look even better on stage. So the crappy light, the crappy check-in pics, when you are looking fantastic in those, you know you're ready to get on the stage. I think Justin Harris said it one time when he was talking to me. Ronnie Coleman looked like Ronnie Coleman in his check-in pics. It didn't matter how crappy the light was. Now, just to show you the difference, you can see, here's my back. I got a little bit better light here. This is still kind of the crappy light at home. I just wanted to show people I really worked hard this off season to bring up my back. And some people asking me questions about my back and what I did to bring it up. And really, it's the same crap that it always is with me. It was just crappy form. I worked with Dr. Danny LaMartina. She's an exercise scientist. She corrected my form on this stuff. I pulled back the weights and then began advancing the weights again with better form and better exercise selection. People always ask me about the scars and knots all over my back. It's not acne. I don't get acne. I just never have. Once in a blue moon, I'll get a random zit. But I've had skin cancer. I had melanoma. You can see here the giant scar from where I had the melanoma on my back. And these pocks that look like pocks on here are from where they've done biopsies on moles over the years. I've had so many moles biopsied over the years. You can see one up here. You can see, they're just all over my back. And then the marks on my back are moles. They are not acne. I don't get acne. Acne is largely a genetic thing. People ask me about it. It certainly, hormone fluctuations have an impact on it. Diet has an impact on it. But if you're prone to get it, it's sort of like going bald. You're going to get it. There are things that you can do to combat it and keep it at bay. I literally can do everything wrong for acne and never get acne. It's like some people that just don't lose their hair from PEDs. I lost my hair. I don't get acne. I don't know which I would rather have. I think I'd rather not get acne and lose my hair. Here's the in-gym pic. This is in the posing room at the gym. You can see what I look like under the better lighting. My back or rear double bicep back pose was my worst pose last year. This is probably what lost me the show last year. And I knew it when I was in the show and they had us do the rear double bicep 3 times. I've replayed this in my head over and over. They were clearly comparing and seeing how people looked with the rear double bicep. And I knew my goose was cooked when they were looking at the rear double bicep over and over and over again. I'm like, shit, my rear double bicep sucks. I think I brought it up. It looks better this year. Some of it's crappy posing. You can see here, my front delts always overpower my biceps. I have pretty big arms. My arms are over 20 inches, but it's the curse of being tall. They just don't look that big when you're in a pose, a rear double bicep pose as a tall guy. And then also my delts are so goddamn big that they just overpower my biceps and my triceps. I mean, it's out of balance. I don't know what to do to fix it. I really don't train my shoulders that hard anymore. They're a strong point. So for example, on my front, most muscular, on my side tricep, on my side chest pose, my shoulders are a strong point. But some of this is posing too. I have limited shoulder mobility because of torn labrum. So you need, for those of you young guys, part of it is too, you need to rotate these wrists back very far so the biceps are up. See how they're sort of facing down towards the floor. And this will actually make your arms look smaller, but I just can't rotate back further because of limited mobility in my shoulders. At some point, I got to get shoulder surgery. You can see my side chest pose here. I think one of the things they told me last year is I needed to add some hamstring density. I believe I have done that. My hamstrings over the last 2 years have really worked on bringing my hamstrings up. It's funny because I get people comment about my chest being small in the off season. I think it's just because I'm fat and hairy and you can't see it. My chest is actually one of my strong points. This gyno on my chest that people love to point out has gotten worse. I sort of wish I had gotten it fixed in the off season. I didn't do it. I put it off. A lot of times I can dry it up at the end of prep with some tamoxifen and letrozole, but there is a price to pay for that. You feel like crap when you run letrozole. I don't know. It's pretty significantly bigger than it was last year. And I'm hoping that it comes down. But anyway, my hamstring has improved. I do have a hard time getting it to drop on the side chest pose and the side tricep pose, and some of that's just posing. I'm working on fixing that right now. Diet. Nothing changed from the diet from last week. I train 6 days a week, so medium days are going to be any training days that are not a high day. There's one high day per week. usually a leg day, although I have been doing it on chest day because it just falls on Friday, and I like to go have a cheat meal with either my kids or my wife on Friday. Macros right now are 370 grams of protein, 375 grams of carbs, and 47 grams of added fat on my medium day for a total of 3,400 direct calories. Just to be clear, I'm not counting the fats in the trace fats. I'm not counting trace carbs. Not counting trace proteins that are in the other food sources. So the calories are probably higher than that. They're probably more like 3,800 if we're going to track all the trace stuff. You can look at my food choices here. I mostly eat chicken and rice. I'll eat a little bit of 96% ground beef. I've been trying to work in some protein powder here and there where it doesn't upset my stomach. High day, I do one high day per week. I recently did a high day video. People seem to like that. I got some comments. People are very concerned about me having Captain Crunch and Swedish fish on my high day. It's 2 servings of trash food out of 42 meals in the week. It's not going to kill you. My high day calories are around 5,700, 6,000 with the cheat meal. It's hard to quantify the cheat meal because I'm not measuring it. Justin says have a 1,500 calorie-ish cheat meal. I try to keep it around there. A lot of times I'll just get a burger and fries or steak and potato, maybe some sushi. I'll go a little heavier with the cheat meals as I get leaner towards the end of prep. Right now I'm not depleted, so I don't feel like I really need to go crazy on them. I usually go to Texas Roadhouse. I think last week I just got a burger and fries at a local restaurant here in my area, so nothing crazy. Low day. On the low day, the fats are a little bit higher. Protein stays the same. Carbs are a little bit lower. So we have a total of 3,180 calories, 360 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbs, 60 grams of added fats. On the low days, I do one low day per week, which is my off day. This week, I didn't have a low day because I took off the gym being with my IBS flare-up, and I just fasted, to be honest with you. It's not the best thing for bodybuilding, but it's the only thing I can do to get my stomach going again. Current PEDs. This is the bit of controversy right now. I saw that there was an entire Reddit thread and some people making, whose names shall not be named because I don't want to give them any glory. People questioning my cycle, saying I take way more than what I do. I thought my cycle was pretty spicy to begin with. It's funny how you'll get a group of people that say you're either taking too much and you're going to die, or people that are saying that you're not taking enough and you're lying, there's no way you're that big, taking that little. Then, in the off season, they say you're lying about that. My off season this year, just so you know, I ran about a 4-month off season, and I just ran TRT or TRT plus, 250, 300 milligrams a week of test. It's hard to measure out, and 4 or 5 units of GH, somewhere around there. I wasn't measuring it down to the exact milligram, but I was just doing 2 shots, a half cc a test a week, 2 times a week. And I was splitting the GH bottle up into thirds, which it's supposed to be 15 units, supposedly. Maybe it's a little less. And that's what I was doing in the off season. And people were like, there's no way you look like that, and blah, 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 blah. I was only 255 in my off season, and I've gained weight since I went back. I wouldn't be gaining weight if I was blasting all off season, which I've gained weight on my contest prep. So, and normally I get up to something like 275, 280 in the off season. I stayed at 250 to 255 this year. At the point in my development that I am at, and I know people aren't going to believe this, and I'm not saying that it would be sustainable long term, but for 4 or 5 months, I can maintain 250, 255 pounds on TRT plus. I mean, it's if I'm training hard and I'm following a diet, it's not that hard. Now, that's not to say that you're going to get to where I'm at doing that. That just to be completely clear, you're not going to get huge, and this is where I think a lot of pro bodybuilders are telling half truths. They say, well, I'm only running X, But X is not what got them to a certain size. It takes less to maintain than it does to grow. Now, right now, what I'm doing is, close to 3 grams a week. I did back off the testosterone a bit. I was running 250 milligrams a day, not per week, 250 milligrams per day. And I lowered it down to 200 because I was kind of getting like a trend-like effect. I guess the test flu. I was just getting hot and sweaty and didn't feel good. Energy was low. So I backed it down a bit. And my Primo in Master on combo is 200 milligrams a day, 100 milligrams of each. So there's 1,400 milligrams a week of a DHT derivative and 1,400 milligrams a week of testosterone. So for 2.8 grams. That's it. I'm not running any orals. I'm not running any IGF-1. I'm not taking a shit ton of insulin. I only run insulin on the high day. I just run some Humalog at meal 1, 3, and 5. I don't really need it otherwise. So, and then a bit of an anastrozole for some estrogen management. I take a 0.5 milligram every other day. Some people will be crashed with estrogen with that much DHT derivatives in their cycle. I'm not one of those people. I'm a high estrogen converter, so I have to be careful with my estradiol. But that's where I'm at. I mean, there's no oral. I don't know why this idiot that posted my supposed cycle up, I don't even know where he got it from. He just made it up, really. It's just made it up to get clicks and views, so don't believe what people say. He's a moron. Posted my cycle up. It's supposedly what, I'm running all these orals and just crazy nonsense that's just not true. Why would I run orals this far out from a show? Why would I be running tren this far out from a show? Said I was taking something like 200 micrograms of clenbuterol. Why would I be running clenbuterol already if I'm getting leaner without it? I save it for when I need it. And yeah, I may run some tren when I get close to the show. I'm just going to listen to my body and see what I need. If I don't need it, I won't run it. It's just common sense. And the last time I checked, 2.8 grams is a pretty spicy cycle. If you can't grow and be big on that much, then you need to play golf or something. I don't know what to tell you. You're choosing the wrong sport. Estrogen management, like I said, anastrozole, peptides are running 15 units of generic GH. I am going to be lowering it to 9 soon because I'm switching to pharma. And those of you that know what 9 units of pharma means. Humalog high day only, as I mentioned. The fat burners, yes, there is some fat burners in an ECY, stack ephedrine, caffeine, yohimbine. I added that in starting Sunday, and I had to drop it already. The ephedrine and yohimbine just do not agree with me. I don't know what it is. They make me feel sick. They make me feel nauseous. I feel unwell, and I think it's the yohimbine more than it is the ephedrine. I don't know. So maybe it would just be clenbuterol this year. I just do not feel good on the ECY stack. It makes me feel like absolute dog shit. So anyway, don't believe what you people are saying on the internet. It's just not freaking true. Generally, if you find it on Reddit about bodybuilding, it's probably the dumbest advice you could possibly get. I have been completely open and transparent about everything that I do. Probably to my own detriment. There's really no personal benefit to me other than educating. And I'm trying to help guys that are coming up, because I always felt like bodybuilders hid this shit when I was younger, and it was like you had to play a guessing game, a whack-a-mole, and just sort of figure it out yourself. And there's a lot of missteps and doing the wrong thing and wasting your time on stuff that doesn't work. And the same guy was telling me that D-ball is the best, best oral out there. I mean, okay, maybe it is for you. I just haven't found D-ball to be that effective for me. I don't like it. Doesn't agree with me. Makes me grow gyno, makes me bloated mess, makes my blood pressure go through the roof, converts to methyl estradiol. It's liver toxic, tanks my appetite. So if something like that causes me all these issues, why would I run it? I want to be healthy, and I want to pick quality stuff and run it as high as I possibly can at safe doses. Anyway, that's my rant on the PEDs. Health supplements. I did a full video on my health supplement stack. If you want to check it out, it's up on the YouTube channel. Glucose management. I run the Suppressor Max berberine product on high days only. Right now, in the off season, I may run it every day. General health, whole food multivitamin 2 times a day, 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C, 5,000 units of vitamin D. I've had some people tell me I should be running that higher. My vitamin D is in line. I don't know. It's probably not worth running higher. There is vitamin D toxicity. Cardiovascular health, I run 3,000 milligrams of fish oil per day. I get the double strength fish oil pills, 2,000 milligrams of flax oil. Why the flax versus the fish? They have different fatty acid profiles, slightly different. I don't know how much of a difference it makes. You could probably just pick one or the other and run it. But that's what I've been doing, just to make sure I get a nice mix of fatty acids in my diet. 100 milligrams of ubiquinol per day, 1,200 milligrams of citrus bergamot for cholesterol, lipids, 1,200 milligrams of red rice yeast extract. I have all these things in here to help keep my heart healthy and manage lipids while on PEDs. That is something, as you start slamming PEDs, especially the DHT derivatives, it seems to have a negative effect on your lipids. And I try to be mindful of this by limiting saturated fats in my diet and being very, very careful with my supplements and food choices. And sometimes I do run a statin if it gets a little too high. I don't like the way the statin makes me feel, so it's sort of play it by ear. For liver health, I'm running milk thistle and tucca. Somebody was telling me tucca can kind of mess up your stomach. I don't know. First Attachment has a liver product called QRF that has milk thistle, NAC, and tucca all in it. It's really great. I've been running that on occasion. For kidney, I run the Renal Reset product from First Attachment. If you pick up these products from First Attachment, I have a discount code of AB10. There is a link in the profile below. That works very well for digestion, oxbile on a high day, digestive enzymes, and psyllium husk at night. I have to be very careful with fiber. This is why I don't eat a ton of vegetables. Fiber tends to flare up my IBS if I'm not careful with it. RX meds, 40 milligrams of telmisartan. That'll probably come out at some point on prep, just because my blood pressure will get too low towards the end of prep. Training, I'm running an RP style PPL. I am putting more training videos up so you can see how I train. People are always very disappointed with how I train because I don't use a ton of weight. I mean, I would say I use moderate amount of weights. My split is a modified PPL. I train 6 days a week. First day is chest and tris and quads, then hams and calves. Then I do a pull day for back, delts and tris. Then I do an adductors, glutes, and hams leg day. So I split my leg days up where it's more of a quad focused leg workout and then an adductor and ham focused workout. And then I do another back day and then I take a day off. So 6 days on, 1 day off. Rep scheme, 10 to 12 reps on compound movements, 12 to 15 on isolations. I go to what I consider sort of mechanical failure, which is really like 1 to 2 RIR. If I am struggling on the last rep, then I rack it afterwards. As far as volume goes, somewhere in the 10 to 20 sets per week, depending on the body part. I just kind of go by feel with that anymore. If I'm feeling very fatigued and run down, I'll maybe pull the volume back on a night. If I'm feeling great, I may up the volume just a little bit. I'm not really programming it out on contest prep. Really, my goal on contest prep, as I have up here, is to not lose muscle, don't get hurt, and lose fat. People think they're going to advance their weights, get stronger, all that jazz on contest prep. When do you hear of most bodybuilders tearing muscles? It is always the second half of contest prep. Always. That's when they fuck themselves up. So you have to be very careful with your training. Cardio right now, I need to change this on here, but it's 20 minutes of list 4 times a week. I've been doing a little bit more than that, but I just try to go for a walk. I just do a walk every day. I don't do anything crazy. 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week, I go for a 20, 30-minute walk. something like that. Plans and thoughts, diet adherence. I had that day missed because of the IBS flare-up. I'm definitely flat, so we'll have to fill back out at some point. Coach's feedback, he added the fat burners in this week. He and I are going to have to talk about that. I don't think I can do this ECY stack. This shit bothers me. Other than that, the diet's the same, cardio's the same. Plans are for 2 shows. Masters Nationals July 18th. My backup show, if things don't go the way I want at North Americans, or at Nationals, would be North Americans at the end of August. All right, folks. That's all I've got for you on this one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.